Internet firewall. Security has become one of the major things that every business requires. So today I'm going to go through the installation or process of Endian Firewall and the initial configurations and some of the common problems during the installation. So having a quick review of a firewall and why our businesses needs a firewall, an internet firewall. I would like you to go to this website, one of my blogs. I've posted an article about the internet firewalls. You go to www.canas.co.cc. That's my blog. As you can see, that's my blog. You click on more to go to the post. So it's talking about the internet firewall. The internet firewall has made large amount of information available to the average computer user at home, in business and education. For many people, having access to this information is no longer just an advantage, it is essential. By connecting a private network to the internet can expose critical or confidential data to malicious attack from anywhere in the world. The intruders could gain access to your sites, private information, or interfere with your use of your own system. Users who connect their computers to the internet must be aware of these dangers, the implications, and how to protect their data and the critical systems. Therefore, the introduction of internet firewall. Therefore, security of network is the main criteria here, and firewalls provide this security. The internet firewalls keep the flames of internet hell out of your network, or to keep the members of your local area network pure by denying them access to all the evil internet temptations. Benefits of firewall. Firewalls protect private local area networks from hostile intrusion from the internet. Consequently, many local area networks are now connected to the internet, where internet connectivity would otherwise have been too great a risk. Firewalls allow network administrators to offer access to specific types of internet services to selected local area network users. This selectivity is an essential part of any information management program. It involves not only protecting private information assets, but also knowing who has access to what. Privileges can be granted according to a job description and need, rather than on all or nothing basis. So this is just an overview of a firewall. So today I'm going to go through installation of the Endian Firewall, which is an open source, which is a very good firewall. So this is the diagram that I will be using during the installation of. This is my network diagram that I will be using during the whole tutorial. There are 3 videos, and this is the first video, which I will be talking about only the installation process and the initial configuration, common installation problems that we face and how to solve them. So looking at our network diagram, the red that you see, it represents the danger zone, the internet. And here is our modem or our router that is connected to the internet. And from the router, before we get access to our LAN, to our local area network, to our users, there is a firewall. A firewall now here acts as a block. It acts as a barrier between the internet and the local area network. So this is the setup that we are going to use. So we are going to use an application firewall called the Endian Firewall, which is open source. It is an operating system, Linux based. Sorry for that, Linux based. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive into the installation process. Let me restate this. So you have to put your CD, your firewall CD, into your CD-ROM, then boot from the CD. Okay, this first page comes in. There's a welcome page. it tells you that the Linux, the Endian Firewall, is an operating system, and you can't dual boot with it. It has the hard drive that you're installing this Endian Firewall should have no information that you want. You can't dual boot on that. Only the Endian Firewall should be on the hard drive. So just press enter to boot. It start loading. This is a pretty good firewall that your business really needs. It's loading some files. Or the checking and loading of some files. Your business really needs a file. Just think about it. Okay, after that it comes to this page. You select your language. I'm using English, so you have to press enter. Welcome to the Endian Firewall installation program. Selecting cancel on any of the following screens will reboot this computer, but I don't need to cancel. I select OK. Right, it's now asking you about preparation of the hard drive. It formats and does the partitioning of the hard drive, which we want to do that. So you click yes, you select yes using the up and down arrow, then you say enter. Right, it asks you if you want to be able to access the console port, of which we want, because all the initial configurations, all the configuration that we do on our Endian file is through the web based. It's web based. We have to do that from another computer through a web browser. So we click yes on that. So the drive is partitioned, is formatted, and necessary files are loaded. This process usually takes time, so I would pause the video and I'll come back when it is done loading all the files. After loading all the necessary files and packages, you come to this interface. As you can see, it's in the green interface. By the green interface, they refer to your local area network. Your local area network is your green interface. The internet is the red interface. As you saw on the diagram, as you saw on this picture, the red interface is the internet, which means a danger zone. This local area network, which is being represented by the domain controller, laptop, and PC, is your local area network, right? Which is being represented by the green zone. So you are now setting an IP address for the interface here on the firewall. So you can change that. You can change the IP address for the green interface. You can change put 1.1, or I'll just leave it as the default 0.15. Then you click and you select OK and move forward. Then you have successfully finished installing the Endian Firewall. It will tell you to remove your CD from your CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. Then you click on OK. It reboots and restarts, and I know it's gonna take some time to reboot, because it will reboot, load some files, all kind of stuff. So I have to pause the video and we'll come back when it's okay. After restarting, loading all the services that are the required services and all the files that are necessary, we come to the console. This is the console. It tells you the release and the version of the Endian Firewall that you're using. Mine is 2.4.1. It tells you the management URL. Since I said earlier on, we manage the Endian Firewall through a web browser. We type this management URL to a web browser on another computer. We don't do the configuration from this computer. It gives you the green IP address of the green interface. So without wasting time, let's go to my Windows 7 machine. Then I open my Explorer, and now I'm on my Explorer. I will type the management URL. What is the management URL? https:////192.168.0.15 colon port 10443. That's what I type here. HTTPS which is so secure 192.168.0.15 colon port 10443. Oh, it brings me to this page, takes me straight to the Endian Firewall. So it tells you welcome to the Endian Firewall. Then you click next. Now here you are configuring the language that you are going to use in the time zone. I'm now in South Africa, so I choose Africa Johannesburg. Africa Johannesburg. If I'm in Zimbabwe, Africa Harare. If I'm in Botswana, Africa Gaborone. Then Africa Johannesburg. Then I click next. Okay, this is the license. Just go through it and accept it. Then you tick accept license, then forward. Then if you do you have a restore do you need to restore? If you have a backup to restore, then you click yes. Since I don't have a backup to restore, just select no, then click next. Then here needs the password, the web front password, the admin password. This is the password that you use when you connect through the web browser to ask you for the password for the admin user. This is the root password. For the console that you saw earlier, you type in the root password. So the web browser password, I'm typing the password. Then for the same as the SSH password, the root user password. And I click next. Here it comes. It shows that I've got one interface, which means I haven't installed another interface, network interface. It should have two interfaces, one that is connected to the internet, and the other one that is connected to the local area network. Let me just pause this video and quickly insert another interface card, then we'll come back to this as soon as possible. Okay, I fixed that. Now shows now I have two network interfaces under hardware information. So here you choose, because it shows red untrusted internet connection 1. So right now you're configuring the red interface. What is going to be our red interface? So either you can be static, it can be DHCP, whereby it can receive IP addresses through DHCP, or it is a static IP address, or it's a point-to-point over Ethernet, DSL, ISDN, analog UMTS, and gateway. So I'm going to choose static. Right, here we are choosing, or we are setting up the orange or blue zone. Right, what happens is our Endian Firewall allows us to have more than two interface cards, network interface cards. We can have 3 or 4. The third one will be for the orange zone, which is a zone. If you go back to our diagram, this is our orange zone, which is a zone where we put our web servers or FTP servers, the servers that we need to access through the public network, through the internet, right? And we don't want people from the internet to access our local area network, but we want them to access our web servers. So the orange zone and the green zone, they're in two different subnets. Yes, both of them are after the file. They are still in our building or in our corporate, but they are in different subnets. So if a hacker gets into the orange zone, he or she doesn't have access to the green zone. Our blue zone is our Wi-Fi zone. We put our wireless access point there. Our wireless users get access to the orange zone. So we can create rules on the file, which we are going to cover that in the second video, of how to control traffic between the orange zone and the green zone, between the green zone and the blue zone. So now, since you don't have a third network interface card, since you don't have a web server, you don't want to control any traffic, site traffic, we just click next. Right here we put the IP address of the green zone. You can change this IP address. You can put the network mask. So I'm leaving as the defaults. Here you under interfaces, you tick the interface that you are going to use as the green zone. You see, the interfaces, the network interface cards are being identified by the MAC address. You know, each hardware is a unique specific MAC address which is different from the other. So each interface has got its own unique MAC address that you're going to use to identify the interface. So if you have selected your network interface card, then you click next. Now we need to configure the red zone. We go back to our diagram. Right, the red zone on our firewall is connected to our modem or router. Right, so the router interface and the red zone interface should be in the same subnet for communication to take place, for traffic to move from the router to the Endian firewall. Right, if they're in different subnets, there won't be any communication between them. Right, therefore here's my browser. Okay, therefore the IP address in the subnet for the red interface should be different from that of the green interface. So here I'm putting 10.0.0.2, but the green interface and the red interface should have the same subnet mask, which I'm going to leave as the /24. I will pick the interface, a different interface, network interface for the orange zone, for the red zone. I'll put the default gateway. The default gateway now is the IP address of the router. Is my default gateway, which is going to be 10.0.0.1. As I've said earlier on, the IP address of the red interface on the firewall should be in the same subnet, should be in the same network as the IP address on the router, which is going to be our default gateway. So these ones the other things you can add or you can leave it. Then I'll click next. Right, configure DNS resolver. Right, our router has got a DNS resolver on it. Our Endian firewall is also a DNS resolver. So other ISP, they give you a 30 part DNS resolver, which you can put in here, but I would love to do my DNS resolving using my firewall and my router. So here I'm going to put the IP address of the router and of the firewall. Then I click next. Here you can configure the administrator's email for notification and kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through that. Then you click next. Now you are done with the initial configurations. Then you click OK and apply configurations. So it will tell you wait for a few seconds while the configurations are being applied. Then you can still go back and just remove that from the URL. Then you click enter. It will require that web browser password. Remember when we're setting passwords, so the username is always admin, then the password, remember the password that you used. Click enter. Then it should take you to the Endian Firewall dashboard. Just a minute, it's loading up. Oh, here you go to the Endian Firewall dashboard. So from the Endian Firewall dashboard, that's where you do other configurations. You set up some policies and all kind of stuff. This will be covered in the in the second video of how to set up, create some policies, outgoing and incoming traffic, how you control access, how you do content filtering, how you block certain websites, all kind of stuff. This will be covered in the second video. How to read these incoming traffic graphs, the outgoing traffic graphs, what happens when your main uplink is down, that kind of stuff. That will be covered in the second video. There are some few problems that you usually face when during the installation and configurations of the Endian Firewall. Usually there will be no connectivity to the firewall through our browser. Usually this is due to the fact that maybe your Endian Firewall interface is in a different subnet with the computer that you're using to configure the Endian Firewall. So make sure they've got the same IP range, they're in the same subnet, same network. If you can't log on to the URL, maybe verify your username and password, because the initial the username for the web access to the Endian Firewall is, for the web browser, the Endian Firewall is admin, which is the default one, and the password is the one that you have set when you're doing the initial configuration. There are no much difficult problems that you actually are going to face when doing the installation. This information has been so helpful to you. I would like every company and every business to have a firewall that they usually use to protect the network, which is a very, very good thing that every business needs. See you next time in my second video. Give a nice time.